What's going on, YouTube? Yeah, the hard part about quitting weed, right? I think the first thing you'll notice is that you are way more irritable than you usually are. And, a lot of that has to do with you being so laid back, or me. I'm talking from my perspective. I used to be so laid back with a lot of things, mostly because I was under that influence. And I wouldn't let things get to me because, hey, for the most part, I was pretty numb, I was pretty high a lot of the time. I would consider myself a pothead at the time, a real pothead, like wake and bake type pothead, which is not conducive to a family life or just to a life in general where you need to be productive. I made it work somehow, but it wasn't the best I could do. Anyways, I was being a lot more irritable, you know, at work, at home. You're just more prone to be snappy. A lot of people say it lasts 2 weeks. For me, it was more like a month and a half, but that could all be mental. Now I'm a little more even keeled. I don't let things get to me. I've learned to just walk away, especially at work where, things can get a little heated. And at home too, walk away. Wife says something and just kind of ignore it. Try not to let it irk me. So, yeah, irritability is definitely one of the toughest parts of quitting. Another tough one for me is dreaming. My dreams come back. And for someone like me, I have, since I was a child, I'd have a lot of night terrors. Very violent, post-apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic type dreams. And I would always wake up, with the sweats. My bed would be soaked. My doctor says that's a fight or flight response. It's your adrenaline, basically, while you're dreaming. Your adrenaline dumping. And it sucked. And it was one of the main reasons I was smoking, was because, as anyone knows, when you smoke, there are no dreams. It's just gone. But that also means there's no REM sleep. So you're not getting fully rested. So yeah, that was definitely one of the hardest parts. Every once in a while I'll still get a dream where it's hard to call them dreams. More like nightmares. Same theme. And with everything going on in the world right now, I always I always tell myself, damn, I picked a hell of a time to stop smoking. Everything's so stressful right now, but that's besides the point. I'm actually learning to deal with a lot of these stresses more face to face as opposed to running from them like I used to. The next two things, they kind of tie in together, but it's basically disconnecting that habit from activities that you used to do with it. You used to pair those things together. For instance, smoking and video games. I used to love getting zooted and just hopping on something that was pretty mindless. I don't know. Battlefield 6, Helldivers 2, I don't know, you name it. Something that wouldn't require too much brain activity. I had to learn how to play video games again now, and I'm actually playing better video games now, I guess, so to say. Things that require a little more cognitive activity. But another thing was fights, watching fights. I used to love watching UFC fights while I'm under the influence. And it's been a little harder. It's kind of made me see how much bullshit is in the UFC. Yeah, that's another topic. Sports. Yeah, sports in general. That's just a different. Oh, gosh. Don't even get me started. With the betting and all this shit. Like, you can bet on fucking goddamn everything, Oh, if this dude's gonna stub his toenail, like, fuck. Anyways, sorry. Uh, and then with that, you find yourself having a lot more time. Like I said, it ties into each other. And I just find it easier to fill that time now, fill that void with, I've been reading a lot more books now, way more than I ever used to as an adult, because my whole adult life I've been smoking fucking weed, right? Who the fuck wants to read a book while they're smoking? I know there's gonna be a few people in the comments or some people hearing this and be like, I like to smoke and read. Okay, all right, guy. A lot more audiobooks too while I'm at work, and it's been kind of enjoyable. It's been very enjoyable actually. Book I recently read or listened to, should I say, was Project Hail Mary. Damn, that was a good ass book, and I can't wait for the movie now. Journaling. I've always journaled, but I've been a little more intentional about it now that I'm not under the influence of the devil's lettuce. I've kind of always been journaling my whole life. And I don't mean journaling like, dear journal, today was really hard. No, not shit like that. But more like I'll have something in my brain and just write it down. I have a pocket notebook I keep with me, I would say at all times, but mostly while I'm at work, because I can't really use my phone at work. And then at home, I'll have full-size journals where I'll just write things down, and it's actually really cathartic, really, really, really cool to get that off of your brain. But that's another topic that I can go into in more detail, which I should. And then working out again. Working out has become more enjoyable, way more enjoyable now. I've been feeling that boredom with working out. I'm having a lot more fun with it because now I'm actually like designing my own workout routines. I have a home gym. Most people don't have that, but still, I have my boxing, my punching bag, my jump rope, my squat rack. I just find myself enjoying it more because, I don't know. Just don't have that weed fog anymore. So I hope y'all got something from this. Don't quit. Well, quit. But just take it easy on yourself. Show yourself some grace. Just take it easy, guys. Like, subscribe, all that shit.